Take this video as a reminder. I'm 26 years old and I only locked in about 18 months ago. And if somebody genuinely gave me advice when I was younger, maybe between the ages of 18 to 25, I would have been much further ahead than I currently am. Because what a lot of people don't understand, and unfortunately we haven't been taught this, the ages of 25 to 30 are some of the most challenging years of a man's life. I call it the pinnacle of identity crisis. This is the time where you are going to be at the peak of your confusion. You don't know your purpose. You don't know what to do with your life. You don't know where you stand. Back in the days, people used to say that was your early 20s. People nowadays cope, right? So let's kind of create a timeline. 20 to 25, I call it the coping years. You can spend time playing games. You can spend time doing all of these random stuff, going to parties. You can do all of these things and people won't really say much because you are below the age of 25. Come 25 now, 25 to 30, things that were once acceptable are no longer acceptable. What, you think you can sit at your mom's house and play video games? Not acceptable. You think you can work a dead end 9 to 5 on minimum wage and people won't question you, right? You think you can go to all of these parties, go outside every single day and people won't say, what are you doing with your life? A lot of men can't handle this. And if you are coping from 20 to 25 with whatever vices that you are coping with, wait till you reach 25 to 30. People are going to start asking you things. People are going to start telling you, what are you doing with your life? And these are sensitive questions. As somebody who dropped out of university and had to lie to people for the next 18 months, convincing them that I was still currently at university or I had graduated, I know what it's like to run away from obvious problems. I know what it's like to run away from things that you know people would question you about, right? Things that you're not really proud of. And this is exactly the reason why the age of 25 to 30, most men actually capitulate and they completely give up on life. There was a video I was watching not too long ago, which was saying how men have given up on careers, men have given up on relationships, and men have overall given up on life. They couldn't care less. They are indifferent. A guy would be sitting at his mom's house, earning minimum wage, having never spoken to a woman, and he would literally look in your eyes and say, don't care. I can still watch football. I can do whatever I want to do. I can waste time. I can cope. That didn't come overnight. That happened for a reason. Which is why all of you guys, irrespective of however old you are, take this as a reminder to make the right moves. I genuinely wish someone told me what to do, what not to do, what to put in place mentally, physically, and financially. So by the time I get to these weird ages of 25 to 30, I can really have the right tools to navigate this and really get through it. Because in the pursuit of becoming the 1% man, which is somebody that is in good shape, spiritually sound, and also doing well financially, in this pursuit, you actually end up realizing that it is a lonely journey. And I'll tell you guys why. We've all made our core friendship groups in our early 20s, right? We've all had our core friendship groups in our early 20s, maybe even from 18 years old. Your core friendship group was made primarily based on trivial things. What football team you support, or who's coming football on Saturday, movies, maybe going to these random game clubs, or just gossiping about random things. What happens when you reach 25, between the age of 25 and 30, is you start slowly realizing that some of these people that were part of your core friendship group, you have nothing in common with. That guy likes this, I don't really like this anymore. He always talks about sports, I don't watch sports anymore. Like, think of it like this. How many guys do you know that if you personally stopped watching sports, you would have nothing in common with them? How many people do you know that if you genuinely stopped gaming, you would have nothing in common with these people? It's a lot, right? And that is what I personally experienced, which is why I always tell people, when you have a core friendship group and you try to lock in, what is the number one thing that humans hate? Change, right? Humans do not like change. And the worst part about humans is whenever somebody is changing, humans take it personal. So for example, if I now lock in, I start a business, or I'm trying to start a career, or I'm trying to get myself in shape, which means I can't eat out junk food every single day, wherever it may be. Instead of your friends supporting you, instead of your friends clapping for you, instead of your friends saying, you know what, I personally won't do this, but if you're going to do it, I support you. Instead of that happening, what do people do instead? They take it personally and they only see things from their own point of view. Oh, he's not hanging out with us because he thinks he's better than us. Oh, he's not chilling with us because he's trying to level up, thinking he's one of these weird gurus on the internet. Only strong-minded people can handle that, right? A lot of men, what tends to happen to them is they hear all of these things and then it detracts them from their mission. You try to lock in, You try to stay on your purpose, but the noise gets to you. You then end up linking up with them one day. They make a few jokes here and there, and then you end up linking up with them again, which then slowly takes you away from your purpose. So most men between the age of 25 to 30, they are stuck in a limbo, or a crossroad, I should say. Should you lock in, irrespective of however people view you? If they're supporting you, fantastic. If they're not, don't care. Or do I give up on my purpose and my dream? And do I cope with these people that are going to be stagnant for the rest of their life? That is what is the most confusing about the ages of 25 to 30. Some things are no longer acceptable. People don't give you the same grace as they once did when you were 18 years old. So what do you do in this situation? And I'm telling you, you need to start building a mental fortitude. A lot of men cannot handle this. And unfortunately, the way I see men nowadays is they could be 29, 30 years old. They are 30 by age in a kid's body, which is why men are aging backwards nowadays. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I've met guys, genuinely, they'll tell me, I'm 29 years old, but they look younger than me. I'm 26. They look like they're 22. Why is that the case, right? It's not only because of their physicality, it is also because of the way they act, the things that they take interest in, and the way they view the world. Very childish. The kind of conversations I used to have when I was 21 are the same conversations they have when they're 30. Talking about sports all the time, which there's nothing wrong with if you enjoy sports, but if you're always talking about it, there's a problem there, right? So if you're between the age of 25 and 30, and you're currently going through this and you resonate with everything that I'm saying, and you no longer relate to the people that you once were diehard friends with, and you're trying to lock in, first and foremost, stay in your purpose. And you can never stay on your purpose unless you have a clear goal. So financially, you need a clear goal, right? And I haven't even got into the physical aspect of it. Most men, and if you guys are like me and you're very observant, I've noticed that most men between the age of 25 and 30 actually look worse than when they were 21, 22, 23. Whereas, as they say, men start reaching their peak when they're 30. Men are starting to look worse as they progress through their 20s, right? You see guys that are 25 to 30 years old, very overweight or severely underweight. They don't really groom themselves. They don't really take pride in the way they look, and so on and so forth. And that is a fair reflection of their internal environment. If somebody has given up on their life, do you really expect them to take care of their outward look? Not really. Which is why some men, unfortunately, you look at them, and we live in a day and age where if a woman needs help, support is there. If a man needs help, support is never there, right? So men have kind of then gone into a little cocoon. They've gone into a shell, not knowing who to reach out to. But this is the video for you. I just want you to understand this, right? Locking in is simple, but you cannot think in terms of 3 to 6 months. You can't think of instant gratification, make money online, lose weight in 2 months, get a 6-pack in 1 week. All of that is ruining you, right? And you need to understand that as somebody who's probably watching this between the age of 25 and 30, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You've wasted all of your 20s shortcutting things. Where has that gotten you? And even if it did get you somewhere, that was luck. There's no meticulous plan in that, which is why you can't replicate it. So financially, I want you guys to understand, first and foremost, if you really want to make the most of your 20s, irrespective of however old you are, have a 5-year plan minimum. Really put something in place. I want to get into this career. And the easiest way I always tell people, and a lot of people don't like to think these days, is if I want to make an X amount of money in a certain career, I am going to write down the best possible role and the amount that I can make there. Then I'm going to reverse engineer it. What's one step below? What is one level below that? What is one level below that? And where am I currently at? Then all you need to ask yourself is, how can I go from here to there, from there to here, from there to there, all the way to the top? And it is as simple as that. But what do people hate? They hate waiting. You're impatient, and impatient makes you take shortcuts, right? So in terms of your career, even if you want to start a business, it applies the same way. You want to start a business and you want to scale it to X amount of money. Okay, that's your North Star. That is the cloud. Reverse engineer it. What do I have to do at each stage to get to that stage? Then start from where you are. Then look, what do I need to do next? Do that thing. What do I need to do after that? Do that thing. And every single day, I always remind myself, there's so much pieces of information out there in the world. Why on earth do we not make the most out of it? How many videos have you seen in your lifetime, or should I say the last few years, that told you how to make money, that told you how to communicate better, that told you how to make better relationships, that told you how to, get into the best career possible, but you don't do nothing about it? Which is why I always tell people, shortcutting is the worst thing ever. And social media, unfortunately, optimizes for shortcuts. People always try to tell you 3 hacks to making X amount of money. It only takes you 3 months to make 10K per month, right? Scrap all of that. It makes your life much more depressing. 5-year plan, whatever it is you want to do. Second thing, physicality. You should try your best to lay the best possible foundations so when you get older, you thank yourself when you were younger. Because we currently live in the testosterone pandemic. Testosterone has been dropping for the last 20 to 30 years. And I'm talking in the younger generation. You could talk about estrogenics, you could talk about all these plastic bottles, all of these junk foods, seed oils. You could talk about all of these things. Not getting sunlight, men not going out and doing things that are challenging. But again, exercise is one of the main components that increases your testosterone. And if you're not doing the basics, don't think about all of these other things like, changing from plastic to glass water bottle. Doesn't really matter. If you don't work out, you're going to become sedentary and it's not even going to serve you anyways. So 2 things that are so important in order to make sure that you curb the chaos that is going to come when you are 25 to 30 is finances. Try to get into a good career. And if you're going to risk it and start a business, by all means do it. I'm only supportive of people that know what it is that they are doing. I hate indecisive people. I hate people that don't know what they are doing and try to mask it by pretending to know what they're doing. It is better to be open and say, look, I don't know what I'm doing. Can somebody guide me? Rather than saying, I know what I'm doing, and then wasting your time coping by playing all of these games and watching all of these movies. Second thing is get in shape. Right? And getting in shape isn't even that hard. People think that, again, we live in a very idealistic reality. People think that getting in shape is looking like an IFBB pro Ronnie Coleman, right? If you know who Ronnie Coleman is, or Arnold Schwarzenegger. You idealize the wrong things. Getting in shape relative to you could be losing 30 pounds, losing 40 pounds, putting on a bit of muscle, right? 10 pounds of muscle. Something so small that can be done over the next 6 to 12 months that would actually drastically change the way you look. And again, the better you look, the more better you view yourself. The more better you view yourself, the more confident you are. The more confident you are, the better decisions you make. The better decisions you make, the better the outcome of your life. And that is why I always tell people, stop idealizing what you see on social media. Getting in shape, and you would be surprised, by the way. Have you ever been outside and you would say, oh, that guy's in decent shape. But if you took a picture of him and you put it on social media, someone's going to say, oh, that guy hasn't lifted a day in his life. There's a reason for that. Because people have this dissociative relationship between what is real and what is fake. They can't tell the difference, right? And that is one of the main reasons which actually stops a lot of people from actually going out there and doing things. You think in order to start a business, I have to be making 100K a month, or I have to have 50K in my bank account. You think in order to get in shape, I have to look like a complete bodybuilder, right? Not the case. If you do the small things, leads to the big results. And the last thing that I want to leave is, if you really and truly want to stay locked in and level-headed from 25 to 30, the most troubling years of your 20s, is to become spiritually grounded. And the reason why I left this here, because a lot of people don't understand that everything out there in this current day and age is spiritual warfare. Everything out there, music, entertainment, pornography, all of these things were created to take you away from your spiritual being, your spiritual connection to God, your spiritual connection to the Lord, right? Which is why everything you see nowadays that's being pushed in front of us is immoral. They are things that we look at and we know is wrong, but we can't help but stay away from. So in your 20s, if you actually stay spiritually grounded, it actually affects all the other parts. So by becoming spiritually grounded, you become better at handling your finances, whether that is getting into a good career or starting a business. You end up making better decisions, which then allows you to get into the gym, really work hard. You start to reshuffle your priorities. And that is what spiritual grounding has done for me, and it will do for you. Because what you need to understand is the further you are away from God, the more easily susceptible you are to being drawn back into the things that you're running away from. All the vices, the parties, the bad people, music, pornography, all of the things that you currently struggle with, By not being spiritually grounded, you're going to be a slave to these things. Which is why I've understood that whenever I see men that say, I've given up on everything, and I look at their daily habits, it is everything that siphons their spiritual energy. You waste time watching movies, spiritual energy is being siphoned. You waste time listening to music all the time, your spiritual energy is being taken. Let's say you're a weird guy and you watch pornography, your spiritual energy is being taken. You go outside or you try to DM girls on social media, your spiritual energy is being taken. You see how we are in spiritual warfare consistently. How can you fight against the spiritual warfare that is out there if you're not even equipping yourself? And this is where I'm going to leave this video. 25 to 30 are troubling years. And irrespective of however old you are, you could even be 30 watching this video. If you do these three things, right? Spiritually grounded, really lock in your spirituality, really become very close to your Lord. Next thing, right? Get into good physical shape. Third thing and last thing is try to build a 5-year plan and really lock in a good career, or if you're going to start a business, do that. And that's where I'm going to leave this video.